Hello, welcome. So I would like to introduce is Dr. Gedre, Director, International Relations, Kaunas University of Technology, Lithuania. It's wonderful to have you back, especially in Chennai after several years. So
Thank you very much for having me today here.
Yes,
It's pleasure. It's indeed pleasure.
Wonderful. So how you feel coming back to India after a short break?
It feels really wonderful to be back, and it's great to be back. It's nice to see life going on despite the pandemic that has stopped all the world, and it's an absolute pleasure to be back in India and to Chennai as always.
Wonderful, wonderful, excellent. So yes, so we are going to do this YouTube live, and anybody who wants to ask us questions about studying in Europe, studying in Kaunas University of Technology, please use the number 988494 8822 and ask us all your questions. Me and our excellent delegate will be more than happy to answer these questions. Okay. So today I'm going to ask you some general questions. Then we go to get into some specific questions. And by the way, this YouTube live session will not be more than 30 minutes. Okay, we'll not be taking much of your time. We want to keep it short and sweet and to the point. Okay. First, to start with, as you know, India is a very big country and with mostly young people. So obviously the drive to learn is always on the higher side because youngsters, they want to keep learning something or the other. So how do you see and why do you say Indian students should choose Europe as a study destination?
I think since ages, Europe was at the core of education in general and also of the higher education. Academic excellence is what drives Europe development, what drives our economies. See, as the European Union initiative, is everything based on the education that we build as a society jointly throughout the centuries. So I think that kind of tradition for education would be something that is so much rooted in our society that also other students coming from all around the world can benefit students and of course academicians when it comes to further career development in academic field, for example.
Excellent. That's why we see since I studied in Sweden, I wanted to just only promote European Schengen countries. For instance, in all my 4 offices, Chennai, Trichy, Coimbatore and Bangalore, I don't even promote UK. And I think we are the only company in entire India not to promote UK because we would like to stick to the Schengen area where they look at education as a holistic approach.
Indeed.
In passing on high knowledge to the children instead of looking at this like a business. So that's why, as our company's name, as you could see, Europe Study Center focusing only on European countries. Now coming to our country. So Lithuania as a study destination, and I myself know like hundreds and hundreds of students get into Lithuania, and of course the major share of students go to Kaunas University of Technology. Of course, obviously this is the number 1 university in Lithuania, especially for technical studies.
Mm-hmm.
So before we get into the university, Lithuania as a country and the connection between India and Lithuania, and you can talk about Lithuania and introduce your country to our people.
So indeed, I believe when it comes to Lithuania, it really comes as a first study destination in Europe, particularly for studying in English, because we use our mother tongue, Lithuanian, on our daily communication, our education, our public life and private lives. Therefore, I believe it's a quite exotic destination in itself. But when it comes to Lithuania, I think it's an excellent destination to study and to learn and to get that international experience for several reasons. First of all, safety. Safety as a general for the country. We are a NATO member, we are a European Union member, as you all know. And also safety on the streets. We are a country with one of the lowest crime rates.
Yes.
So students and of course their parents can feel very comfortable sending their kids there and for kids being there. We are an open country and it's nice when students are discovering us. And in particular in Kaunas, there are people of all nationalities, students studying there and afterwards working there, and there are just professionals coming. So when it comes to the country, it really attracts the young talents from all around the world, and it's very pleasant to see that how we also learn from you, not only you learn from us,
It's mutual, yeah.
Exactly, and that mutual exchange and share of cultures through learning academic disciplines, but also learning new ways of life. It's also very enriching. So I believe it's like mutual beneficial exchange.
Absolutely.
And the country is very safe, it's very open, it's also very green, although we have 4 seasons, but it's very nice, something to experience. And being in a smaller country, I always say it's beneficial for you as an individual, because you have more opportunities, you have more space, just to enjoy yourself, or to study, or to enjoy other excursions, or etc. And it's just very nice to be in, and we are pleased not only think ourselves that it's a nice place to be and to see and to stay, but also that our students, when they come, they say it's just so nice being here, and that's kind of reward that you get in return.
We get to hear this from many of our students all the days, basically. So now coming to our university, Kaunas University of Technology, one of the top class universities in the world, in the top 500. So I would like you to talk about Kaunas University of Technology. And also I would like to, because see, there is always a thinking with some parents and students, if you have to go to Europe, you need to know the local language, which is not actually true. For example, I studied in Sweden. All I know is my mother tongue and English. That's it. So because we have an ideology, we will not promote anything which is not in 100%, which is not in English.
Yeah.
We will not promote it. Even 5%, 10%, they have to learn it in that language. We just keep it aside. So I would like you to explain Kaunas University of Technology. And by the way, this is the 100th year.
Exactly. So first of all, I would like to start from the fact that in our university this year we are celebrating 100 years anniversary.
Amazing.
1 century we are here, and despite ongoing wars, war, Second World War, any occupation, any history, how history was shaking us, our university continued to strive. I'm saying this every time, and I know that but I'm always proud to say that my both parents are engineers, and they're both graduates of Kaunas University of Technology.
Wow.
So for me, it's like a personal attachment to the university as
Like
well.
a second home.
In a way, indeed. And when it comes to university, we are currently having students from more than 60 countries studying at our university.
That's amazing.
So English is something, as a means of instruction of studies, it's a way to connect with the world. We understand that Lithuania is a very small country, and taking one little step back, we are also pleased to share with you that actually Lithuanian language has something in common with Sanskrit. Maybe something also appealing. But also when it comes to university, we provide studies in more than 50% of all our study programs are entirely taught in English.
Exactly.
So the students, if they don't want, they may not learn a single word in Lithuania. They come with English, they study in English, they graduate in English.
This is what I say for the past 14 years.
Excellent, indeed. So it's really convenient for students. Of course, as a university, we offer Lithuanian language and culture course, so that they can learn few languages, as I call Lithuanian survival skills, so they would feel more comfortable in the city around. However, it's not needed. People are speaking on the streets in English. Campus is bilingual. Any academic information system, all the newsletters, science in the university, they are all bilingual. So there is no pressure for a student to learn Lithuanian. Of course, it's nicer for them, and they get a motivation.
It's up to them.
If they want to, and if they don't, they are fine with that.
It's quite evident from your KTU website.
Yeah.
Wonderfully
Thank you.
written and completely in English. It's just amazing. It's one of the best websites when it comes to top class public universities. Explaining everything in English. Yes.
We strive on that every day, and it's important way. We understand that speaking the language that is spoken by 3 million people worldwide, it might not be appealing unless you are learning languages and want some exotic in that.
Exactly.
But other than that, we don't have that expectation that the students would learn, because it's also complex language. It's among 10 most difficult languages in the world. So we understand that the students will not be learning that.
It's up to them, but it's not required. That's what our delegate tries to say, and which is what we also say for the past several years. So you've been handling as a director of international relations. You've been handling Indian students for many years right now. Yeah. So I would like you to share, how Indian students are at your university?
I think they're doing just fine and absolutely perfectly. Of course, I believe at the beginning they all have a little bit of, as I call, cultural shock in the way our classes are being delivered, because in our university we strive that students engage and deal with the professor. So, of course, even through theoretical questions and theoretical classes, the professors might ask, and what do you think about this, and what is your take on this?
Yes.
And therefore they can turn to the students and ask. So I believe that at the beginning it's a bit of a shock to students from India and some other particular Asian countries, because they are not used to address to a professor directly in the class. But I think afterwards the adjustment comes very quickly, and they're very comfortable about their classes, both theoretical classes or seminars and also practical part, and they learn to engage. And apart from that, it's very nice that they integrate also. They don't keep only among themselves, which is nice to have someone close from your motherland with you being 10,000 kilometers away. But it's also very nice that they integrate with the other students, and they also very talented, very competitive when it comes to studies, and they're trying for their studies very hard, which is also very good, because studying particular engineering sciences and technologies, it's not easy. It's not easy in your mother tongue, and it's easy in English or in any other language. So students, of course, they have to focus on their studies, but if they focus, they do really, really excellently.
Yes.
And we have students who have won European engineers competition student team. It was also among them student teams. There was also the famous buckwheat cocktail that was also invented by our Indian students, and chemical technology faculty that won second place in the national competition. So they're really excellent, again and again, examples that they're doing not just strictly studies, but also advancing in developing their careers, and that is very nice to see.
Wonderful, wonderful. I also like to give little credit to my team members, because we strictly say, for example, if your focus is just doing part-time, don't come to Europe Study Center. Go somewhere else. There are so many in Chennai. Just go there. You want to study, you want to develop your skills, come here. And for your surprise, maybe you know it, the cost of studying in KTU is lesser than studying in a deemed university in Chennai.
Exactly.
When student parents come for their counseling, for the master level, they say, why didn't I know this before? I spent more here. I would have gone and studied in a university which is 501 in the world. So I would like to tell you them, I would like you to say the approximate fee structure at the UG and PG level.
Okay. So, of course, as you rightly said, we are public universities, so our fees are very reasonable and very affordable to students. And it's also worth mentioning that our international and local students are actually paying the same price if they have to study, if the local students have to study in the fee-paid studies. So for the undergraduate studies, for the bachelors in engineering, there will be around 3,500 euros per year. I want to highlight that, so that is not for a semester.
Yes.
And for the master's level, they can expect studying for 4,800 a year, which is also very reasonable for engineering studies.
Yes.
And of course, students of excellence, we aim to offer and support, particularly after the pandemic and during the pandemic. University aims to support the students, so we also, whenever we can, depending on the students' academic results, we try to offer partial tuition fee waiver.
Wonderful.
To encourage students to strive for education, that education would not be the reason and the thing that they have to put back because of the financial situation. That pandemic even made it more difficult for many families worldwide. And when it comes to the living cost, which is also very important, in Kaunas students can expect spending around from 400 to 500 euros for living in the dormitory, covering the fees for public transport, food, leisure, studying materials, clothing. So it's still very reasonable. When you sum up everything, it's still very reasonable to manage to study and not doing part-time job and full-time job. Of course, financial situation is very important for students, and so it's for the families.
Yes.
But I always say, and I say that from my personal experience, I did my 2 masters and PhD abroad.
Yes.
That financial part is very important. But sometimes the little sacrifices you make at the beginning can advance your career later on when you have good grades, when you study, when you really excel in your studies. So making little sacrifice for long term, then this is the reason and the message I want to pass on the students.
Our ideology is plan your financials well, focus on your studies, get good grades, get your job, just move on.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
You're just going to, for example, if it's going to be bachelor's, it's only 4 years. And if it's going to be master's, it's only 1.5 years. Then your project.
2 years or
just
2 years.
focus.
Exactly.
Just focus. Then the parents and students, they come and say, "Sorry, you and your team member talk differently, and the other people, other offices, they talk differently." I said, "Which is correct?" No. Logic-wise, you're like perfectly. It's just that it's sweet for us to hear those things. Oh, you can do this, you can do that. I say, I wish to talk realistic things and guide you in a straightforward way instead of telling you these, that.
Yeah. From this year, by our law, the students can work in masters full time, but it's engineering studies. So and then they work full time or even part time. Then they have academic debts. They don't pass exams. They fail submitting the midterm tests and any papers that they have to provide, and then they delay in graduating. So then the pressure and the stress that they have is much higher than they would just focus.
Exactly.
And
that is why
is still the reason I want to really highlight. Living in even capital city would be double the price. Living costs just.
I have spoken to many of our university students. They spend anywhere between 300 to 350 euros, and they comfortably live there.
Exactly.
And it's much cheaper than a student studying in Bangalore.
Well, that's even better.
That's even better. By the way, so you all can ask us your questions. 988-494. 8822. We already have 8 questions, so we will answer that. Before that, I would like to, before we take the questions,
yes,
I would like you to explain the bachelor's and master's program available at our university.
Okay.
So I just change the screen. So just a second. I just check if you're okay. Yes. So you could explain us the bachelor's and master programs available?
Yeah, so indeed in the bachelor's level, students can study a variety of programs starting from the chemical technology and engineering, food science and technology to architecture, civil engineering, intelligent robotic systems, renewable energy, nanotechnologies, artificial intelligence, informatics, business digitalization, and communication studies, new media language, and particularly being in engineering university and technological university, I want to highlight that even students studying social sciences and business, they will always have the part of technology, entrepreneurship, and innovation, even in those kind of studies. So they would not receive the what you call traditional social science education. Yes. So they will always have that competitive edge when it comes to the career development and opportunities.
Yes, a mix of all essential elements. And just to add, all these programs are 4 years and medium of instruction is only English.
Entirely English.
Entirely English. Okay, so I'm just opening the master's tab for you to explain.
Yeah, so and when it comes to master's, the list is even greater just because our university is research based. So in master's, the students already start specializing, and it helps them also to develop. So again, the programs really vary from applied chemistry, environmental engineering, food science and technology, to architecture, structure and building products engineering, aeronautical engineering, mechatronics, medical physics, again artificial intelligence, material sciences, electronic engineering, and also public policy, international business. So really a variety of programs to choose. And comes to PhD, the students can study in all 19 fields of our that are offered by our university entirely in English.
Wonderful. It just covers everything. So it's like one-stop solution from almost all the program needs.
Indeed. And we're actually very happy that sometimes students, they come just to, I just want to graduate from bachelor's, and then they end up doing a master's and PhD and even postdoc at our university. It's really, for us, it's appealing. For us, it's like an assurance that we provide the quality education and the students appreciate. Exactly. They see the benefits and they want to continue with us.
Before I take the questions, I would like to say, what we say here is not that Indian education is bad, everybody go to Europe. No, I never say that. Exactly. I only say when you don't get a seat to study in the IITs and the NITs, that is the public universities of India.
Yes.
You go study in European public universities. That is that country's IIT and NIT. This is what we say.
Exactly, and I think it's fair enough to say that, because also as a university we have also agreements with IIT Delhi, It was just signed before the pandemic, and we look forward that cooperation advances
Move forward,
further
yes.
on after since pandemic finished, hopefully.
Good. So we have a lot of questions.
Okay.
So I'll ask them one by one. By the way, thank you so much for all of you who have been asking questions. So first question is from Rohit. In KTU, you give a wide range of programs, but some of the interesting programs are offered only in Lithuanian. Can we expect English in the near future? Rohit, all the programs are given in English, and if at all you want to choose some interesting subjects, you can even choose that, and also you have these Erasmus options, but whatever is given on the website,
Yeah.
those are the only English taught programs.
Of course, in Lithuanian we have few.
That's what he says. Those programs are so interesting, but it's in their language.
I know, but it's also because of the structure. To offer the study program in English, it's not just you make a translation from what you read. It's much more than that, and therefore we wanted for the professors to be prepared, and our staff and all the available labs, etc. So it's really much more than that. And when we offer a program in English, we want to make sure that the student get full studying experience in English.
Exactly. I used to, because some students with wrong guidance, okay, they take up a mix of languages, meaning like 70% English and 30% some local language, and then they just think, okay, it's okay, we can manage. Then I ask them, okay, when you get your question paper, you read the question, read the question, you don't know the answer, you can write it next semester. But when you cannot even read the question, forget about, clearing the examination.
Exactly.
So we go to the next question.
Yes.
What are the programs offered under mechanical engineering? Kayal, we just showed you right now.
It is programs in mechanical engineering as such. Mechatronics, also when it comes to masters, we offer aeronautical engineering, industrial engineering and management, vehicle engineering, sustainable management and production, which is a combination of management and engineering.
Yes, wonderful. So, interesting question from Shanbagam. Seeing you live, applied to KTU, waiting for interview, which is on day after tomorrow.
Wonderful. So I wish the student most of luck for your interview. It's a very important part. We want the student to know us and for us to know the student.
Yes.
And it's an integral part of our selection process.
Yes.
That we really, so all the best, and I hope to see you in person at KTU in autumn.
Yes, I would like to add a point, because a lot of people, they think, because we are the biggest in India when it comes to sending students to Europe, I think, okay, all that we need to do is just go to Europe Study Center and everything is confirmed. No. You need to clear the entrance, okay, conducted by the university, not by Europe Study Center, okay. So the sole decision of giving you an admission purely based upon your entrance exam. The entrance exam is very simple. They're not going to ask you any complex, doctorate questions. No, it's simple, basic questions.
Upon the level.
So I would like you to prepare well, take it seriously, because some parents, they think, we have enrolled at Europe Study Center and I'm going to take care of everything. Yes, I will, but you have to clear the entrance.
Exactly. And when it comes to entrance, it's 60 CGPA, English language, and when it comes to masters, there's motivation interview. There are a few tests like mathematics for Bachelors, informatics, or for architecture. The students have to have portfolio and clear the architectural entrance exam, which is also the same as for Lithuanian students, because we always say when the students come of the higher quality and this kind of standardized selection process of the students, we have students from 60 countries that come from all variety of backgrounds and different education systems. So when we more or less try to balance the level, they benefit more from these studies because they are all from approximately the same level or higher. Therefore, the professor doesn't have to go to basics and introduce things that the student was supposed to learn in school. Because otherwise, if you are the best student in the class and the professor has to catch up other student, well, then you're just wasting your time, and you won't be happy, and we won't be happy as well.
Exactly. So all the decisions that, for example, the rules set by Europe Study Center or by the university is only with the student's interest. Exactly. There is no personal interest for ESC or for KTU, nothing. Everything designed in a way to deliver the best to the students.
Exactly.
So that they can handle the future.
Exactly. We really aim at academic excellence when it comes to students, also when it comes to us. So we really focus on quality. We do selection of the student. We make a thorough selection process to make sure that the student is fit for us and we fit for the student.
Mutually,
exactly.
So the next question is by Helen, which our delegate just now answered. The master program entry requirement is 60% and IELTS is not required because they conduct a Skype interview with you for 30 minutes. They evaluate your English.
Exactly.
So we go to the next question because we have a lot of questions. Hello sir and ma'am, I am Vinod. I have completed my Bachelors of Commerce in 2017. I have joined CA and completed my 3 years articleship, but now still I'm like, see, he is a 3-year degree student, so it's not possible. We need at Kaunas University of Technology, we need 16 years of education.
Indeed. Sometimes if the student is really willing to take maybe some extra courses or extra year in bachelor, upon the submission of the documents, when we see all the application, we can, together with the faculty and our Quality Assurance Center, when it comes to academic recognition, we can compare the degree. So sometimes for the students who are really willing and really wanting to come to study with us, be able to offer masters if they clear any additional requirements for additional courses, additional year, maybe sometimes even 1.5 years, if they are willing. And we have students who are, so we are happy that they are taking that decision because it helps to advance for them.
Wonderful. So next question is by Pooja. Secondly, wanted to know how safe is the country for female student and is there any scholarship available? These two questions we have just answered in the beginning of the live. One of the safest countries?
Yes, and when it comes particularly for the girls, it's really safe. It's I always say anything can happen anywhere in the world, but it's really safe. There is no kind of differences between the genders, and we also particularly when this question is coming from the girl, I want to encourage that university is engaged in Girls in Tech and Women in Tech national programs that we really want to encourage our girls go and study and aim for engineering education. And you'll be surprised that even our deans of engineering faculties, they are ladies, vice deans, and many professors of yours will be female as well in the engineering studies.
Wonderful, great. Now we have several students, South Indian, especially from South Indian girl students studying in Kaunas, so don't worry about it. Do you provide accommodation for international students? Chandini.
Yes, we have the dormitory on the campus and we really encourage students to live there, at least in the beginning, for them to get to know the place better. And it's very, very convenient because it's just across your faculties. Afterwards, sometimes students, they group together with friends and they rent a place in the city, which is also an option. But I suggest that to do that at the later stage and really stay in the dormitory. I think even living in the dormitory is a part of studying experience, actually.
Yes. Yeah, this is a very important question because when me and my managing director, Mr. Abdul, when we started all these things, the whole objective was to expose students to practical way of learning.
Yes. So the practical...
The next question is, that's what the question is. How practical are studies in your university? By Arjun.
Thank you for the question. Indeed, there's at our university, students at all 3 levels, even starting from bachelor, we really want to them introduced to research and practical experience. So the studies always consist on 3 things. Theoretical lectures the students have to attend, the seminars, that is theory applied to practice, and practical. So the students will be working in the labs, in the universities, and also in the labs in master and PhD levels of our institutes. And it's very important to do that. And by the way, attendance is mandatory at the university. So be it theoretical, seminar, or practical activities, the students must attend them. And that kind of combination of learning provides an excellent combination. And the students really have a lot of practical experience, even though they are studying in engineering university, in the public university, focusing on engineering and technologies rather than in the college that's purely based on practical education.
Yes, so the main objective of we dedicatedly promoting European countries, the main aspect is because of this practical education. So the next question is requirements to apply for a master program. We have already answered your question, John. 60% and a 16-year degree. Okay. So the next question is about scholarships from Lakshmi. As I already told you, once you reach the university, if you are really doing well, there are certain criteria. You can apply for the scholarship, and the international office will be more than happy to help you.
And we also, as I mentioned before, the partial tuition fee waivers are available. Then already applying when the students have in the form of, it's not paid separately, it's just covering part of their degree tuition fee.
Yes. Next is a very interesting question, and it's one of the biggest problems that I have in office. Can students from different domains apply for interdisciplinary programs in masters? Asked by Akshay. What he is asking is, For example, okay, the students would have studied chemical engineering. But right now in India, with all these e-learning platforms, especially after the pandemic, it's all becoming e-learning. And they project, if you don't learn artificial intelligence or data science, you will die. This is what they project. So even during the education fair yesterday evening, we see small kids. What do you want to study? I want to study data analytics. I want to study. It's good, but to project to the younger generation, only this is studies and everything else is waste. That's wrong.
No, it's very wrong. It's very wrong, and I agree on that. Actually, now university, we are very proud, and if you see in even our website, and our colleagues here presenting, we always strive for that interdisciplinarity in studies when it comes. We have Artificial Intelligence Center, and we, if someone would browse through our website today, they would see that we are offering even competition for studies being applied to artificial intelligence from any field. There is a special competition and possibility for students to win very generous prizes. And then when it comes to studies, we offer BAA and MA Plus, which allows already for the students studying in chemical technology, study artificial intelligence, for mechanical engineering, studying project management. So it's really, it's like having major and minor.
Yes, exactly. That's what she's...
and it's very interesting to know.
Yeah, what our delegate is trying to say is, you can choose 1 or 2 subjects, but a chemical engineering student at the UG level cannot take artificial intelligence or data analytics at the master level. It's like studying BSc physics and then doing your MSc chemistry and doing your doctorate in biology. It's just not possible. Okay.
But there are a lot of elements during our studies, and the students will have a possibility to experience that. Our many students from an international environment do that, and it's really beneficial for their careers.
You can pick up 1 or 2 subjects, but there is no cross majors allowed. Yes, I want to make that very clear, because even I see 3 days before, I met a microbiology student. I was asking, very good. What do you want to study? He said, I want to study big data. It's like, okay, it's not possible. Tata, bye-bye. So, what is the scope for renewable energy in Lithuania? A question by Kavi Arasu, because if you see, because I studied renewable energy, so entire Europe, they focus on clean energy, wind energy, solar energy, some points on that?
Absolutely. Those students that are already in our campus can see that we even have solar panels on our university buildings. Wonderful. We are working on the joint initiative with the city in one of our dams, make water renewable energy from water. We as the country really strive strongly on renewable energy when it comes to wind power from the sea. There are, even as a citizens, you can buy a part of solar energy plant that is remotely connected to your home, on the houses obviously, so it's just installed there. And university is also doing a lot in that. And there was one of our inventions by our professor who made, please allow me an incorrectness when it comes to science, but made the most effective solar panel structure that is currently the most effective solar plan
the most efficient
module in the world, and we are really pleased because we do that a lot of innovation, because it comes chemistry, physics, engineering together in one field.
Wonderful. The next question is by Prashant. Is it possible to change the program after getting admitted into one? Prashant, I would like to answer this. Be very clear before applying, because it takes a lot of time to faculty to conduct an interview, select you, then you keep changing, then it's not so very professional. So we would like you to be very clear.
That's true. But also at the same time, some of our students do change program. They have a chance to do that in the first month after studying, after beginning of their studies. We strongly discourage students to keep changing programs later on, because they really lose the time. They can change the program, but then they have to start from the beginning. No. So, but in the first month, if you want to change from mechanical engineering to mechatronics, it's quite easy, so that you can do. But please don't go to chemical technology afterwards, or from chemical technology go to
that's what I tell students, take your time. Be very clear. Once you decide on something, just go for it, go for the kill, just get it done.
Yes.
This is a very interesting question. Good afternoon. Will the staff or university contact parents for any communication regarding the student's performance? How will the parents be able to track their child's progress? For example, can the parents mail the international office if you, for example, if you give us an email ID to see the student's result, if the student is not sharing it with the parent, can it be possible to share?
It's a very tricky question. It's a very good one. I understand parents' concern, particularly when they don't have a direct control of their kid when they are 10,000 kilometers away. By the current laws in Europe and Lithuania, the privacy, the protection of private data and marks, grades is one of those data, is strictly confidential. Unless the student clearly indicates in the form that we can share that kind of information. Also, you must understand and us, because writing and receiving an email, sometimes very fake emails come,
Yes.
and it's of course our information systems, they clear them out, but some things got sometimes not right, and people claiming that they are parent of a child is actually not even a parent. So it's very tricky. So what we are really encouraging in this case, be in touch with your kids and share. They have all the academic results at any point available in the academic information system, which is in full access of the student at any time, 24/7. And it's very, very important, because as university, unless we have the official request to share the certain data, otherwise we cannot provide that.
Yes, and I've already given them a solution for this. Okay, if your child is not sharing his study results, don't send money next month.
Exactly.
Just stop it. Just stop it. You just say, give me the data, I send you the money.
Exactly.
That's it. Then they get it like this.
Indeed, because they have it always available at hand.
Yes. So, any more questions? I think we are all okay. Do you assist with placements after their studies? What sort of support we give? Of course, no university, please do not think all that we need to do is get the visa and the university is going to get us a job, etc., etc. Nothing. Everything comes from your side. But of course, they do provide you some assistance. So
Indeed. So internships and practical training is a part actually of any study program. So the students have to do internship during their studies already. And with that, there is advertisement ad. We encourage students to go and consult. There is a career consultant, career center in the university where they can consult. And also in every end of October, we organize the biggest in Baltic states education fair with the businesses, where it's business fair, I should say, career fair rather than education fair, where students can meet their potential employers, where they can find the places for the internship during their studies, because as I mentioned, the internship is a mandatory part of their studies, but also afterwards, because something what we also offer is Erasmus internship for students after their graduation. But of course, as you rightly said, their individual effort is also at most important.
Because the ESC will be very clear. Unlike other companies, you're going to get this, that, nothing. Go develop your skills.
The information will be there, but they have to pick and they do their part of the job.
I always say, believe in lack of skills, don't believe in lack of jobs. Jobs are always there. Whether do you have the skill set to apply that? Yes, it was great. It was amazing. So I hope a lot of questions we got. I've answered most of them. Some were repetitive. You can just read through see through the video. You will have a good idea. So it was wonderful. We planned for 30 minutes. It already went to 40 minutes. It was great having you here.
Thank you.
And excellent. We wish you come back to India again and again. And I want students to use this golden opportunity of studying in the prestigious university like Kaunas University of Technology. And going abroad for studies is a life-changing activity, which I want all the students to experience it. And I would like to thank you to spend your valuable time coming all the way here, talking to students and doing a live show. I hope it was beneficial for everybody. Last points, anything that you want to say to students?
I just want them to encourage to pursue education in KTU or anywhere else. Education is a part in life that really enrich and will advance your life in all possible means. So use that opportunity. Go ahead and strive for that. Thank you very much and have a great day ahead.
Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.